Hello everyone. Today I will be demonstrating to you the power of my level 72 Faith build, suitable for both PvP and PvE. Some of the main highlights of this build is its defensive, regenerative. How do you say that? Its regeneration spells. Its offensive attacks that help you keep distance and control the battlefield, and some of the harder hitting spells and items we have to inflict status ailments. Now, this build is not only just a PvP build. With this, I want to highlight some of the greater aspects of this game that let you manipulate and customize your experience of play in any specific way you would like to. Let's take a look at the stats. Prophet and Aya. Of course, I started with a Prophet build. We have 50 Vigor, 25 Mind, 18 Endurance, 21 Strength, 20 Dexterity, 12 Intelligence, 50 Faith, and 15 Arcane. As you can see, we have quite a high Vigor. And I believe the Vigor is pretty much required, plus 30 or plus 40 for any suitable experience in this game. If you find you're having a really difficult time with this game, you really want to try increasing your Vigor just a bit. Maybe to plus over 30, I would say, is going to be a suitable experience. Plus 25 Mind is giving me the ability to cast all the spells that I need to. And if the situation calls for it, maybe like a particularly enduring boss fight, I could also wear the hat that increases your mind. I believe by like 3 or 4 points. Yeah. The endurance is basic. I don't need a ton as a caster, but I want to be able to have enough in PvP to dodge and cast as I'd like. Strength is minimal. I don't have a really high spec in the strength, but this allows me to use the basic weapons that you'll need to use in this build. Dexterity could be the same thing, could be said. Intelligence, I also don't spec high into intelligence because this is a full incantations build. Now you'll want around 50 plus faith. I'm only doing this at level 75, but if you want to increase this, I would spec higher, maybe 20 points higher into faith, and throw the rest into vigor. And arcane, obviously, we don't need that high of a scaling. Let's take a look at some of our spells. So let's start off with Frenzied Burst. Of course, when we're using Frenzied Burst, we'll want to have the Frenzied Flame Seal that causes madness buildup. So with this seal plus the actual spell itself, we'll have a really good madness buildup. With some people that have lower focus, we might be able to chain madness. It's a really nice tactic. Going on, we have Noble Presence with the Godslayer seal that increases Godslayer incantations. Noble Presence is similar to Wrath of Gods, if you know it from Dark Souls 3. But it inflicts the black flame on people, which kind of drains a little bit of their HP. You could also hold it for a longer explosion, and it'll knock people into the air. And also knock enemies and some bosses into the air. Going on, we have Black Flame Ritual. Black Flame Ritual allows the caster to throw a black flame circle around us. This is a great defensive spell that would give us distance in a fight. Another one of those spells that allows us to control the battlefield really well. We have Beastle Vitality, which slowly increases your HP over time. It's a nice little regenerative spell to have, especially in the midst of combat. You can also stack this with the Amber or the Blessed Dew Charm that slowly restores HP, and the Shield that restores HP, the Icon Shield, and you'll have a good HP regeneration. We have Grink's Beast Claw. I'm saying that right. It feels really difficult to say. Along with the Claw Mark Seal. Boost the damage of our Beastle incantations. Incredible for spacing. You could use the Black Flame Ritual to give yourself space. And then use the Grink's Beast Claw to punish aggressive players or mobs. We also have Beastle Sling. Beastle Sling is a personal favorite of mine, and really going to be a bread and butter in this build. It's super fast. Casting allows for a lot of punishing, and it allows for just pain build-up. And you can see it costs almost no FP. This allows you to keep throwing it as much as you'd like. Really can control a whole area with shotgun tactics. There's not really a lot of shotgun like projectiles in this game, so that really throws a lot of things off. It's really nice. Stone of Granite, really heavy hitting object that can be casted. As you can see, it inflicts a lot of posture damage on enemies and bosses, so it's a must-have in this build, in my opinion. And it also casts fast, so if you're in PvP, it could throw a lot of players off. You'll slow cast the first one, and they'll think you're done, and then you'll cast two or three more. Another must-have for this build is Flame of Frenzy. This allows you to throw Flames of Frenzy in close or long range, along with the Frenzy Talisman. Gives you incredible frenzy buildup on enemies. It really is really good for distancing yourself, and really good for spacing and punishing aggressive players or mobs. Now that we explained the spells, let's take a look at our primary fighting. This is the Saint Trina's Torch. It is a faith-based weapon with an incredible sleep buildup. 72 on each hit. So for mobs that can sleep, this is super effective. And for enemies, PvP players, I've seen it proc sleep in 3 or 4 hits. 2 if people have their forgot what the status is that governs that one is. But if it's really low, you can proc sleep in 2 hits. And you also have your Slumbering Fires weapon art, or sword art, or whatever you call it in this game, Ash of War. And it creates slumbering fires that if enemies stand in, it builds up their sleep over time. It's really one of those really good defensive options I was talking about. Let's take a look at our items. First off, you have your lightning pot. Now, lightning pots are essential for punishing people who are using Estus, or punishing players who are super aggressive, punishing mobs. Along with your lightning pot, you have your Cuckoo Glintstone. Now, these scale better if you had an intelligence build, but they're also a really good tool for punishing players in PvP, keeping them on their feet at a distance. We have explosive clumps, and these are our grenades. Really nice for controlling distance, laying down heavy damage. Along with that, we have our freezing pot. Really gives you an option to inflict frost on people. And then along with the frost debuff, you can chain that with the spells, being that it decreases people's defense. We have our Spark Aromatics. Really great option for doing high damage, especially if you pair it with the Perfumer's Talisman. You really lay down some high damage. Almost one-shot a lot of enemies, especially PvP players. Along with that, we have our Warming Stone, which are essential for regenerating HP. Along with our Warming Stone, we have our Frenzy Flamestone. Now, you want to be careful using these, because if you don't have a certain in-game mechanic that changes your character, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a certain in-game mechanic that changes your character and aligns you with a certain ending of the game. But once you have that, I believe once you're aligned with that certain ending and you've been accepted into that fraction of the game, you're not affected by the madness buildup of these Frenzy Flamestone. But it was really interesting because other players still are. So it's a really good tactic to use a Frenzy Flamestone and look like you're healing yourself. And then when people try to punish you, you could punish them equally with the Frenzy Flamestone and the Flame of Frenzy. Really, really good for hitting Madness proc. After the Frenzy Flamestone, we have our Poison Spray Mist. Now, I don't want to use these because I don't have much of them, but it allows you to inflict a poison. And what I've noticed, this poison is different from normal poison in the game. It seems to inflict a little bit more damage, but it's a little bit harder to hit because the hitbox is almost directly in front of you. We'll be demonstrating some of that in PvP and PvE, but for now, just know that it inflicts a really hard-hitting poison. Now that I've explained all of our stats, you can have a look at our armor. I'm using Vornex's Pointed Hat, altered version. I just like the fashion souls on this, so I really don't have a reason for using it, but it apparently increases your Thorn sorcery. And I've never used a Thorn sorcery, nor have I seen one. I think I've seen one once when I fight this guy in the round table hold, but besides that, I'm probably gonna make a build on that next. Going on, we have our fingerprint armor, and I always alter the capes off my armors because I'm not a big fan of capes, but this has a cape. And then we have our scaled gauntlets because I think the scaled goes nice with the rest of the armor, gives it that tarnished, no pun intended, that tarnished damaged look. And then we have the fingerprint greaves, of course. This kind of reminds me of the Demon Soul set. Now let's take a look at our talismans. We have Radagon's Thor Seal. Now this is interchangeable with the Marika's Sword Seal if you want to hit harder with a little bit more damage. But I'll also use the Radagon Sword Seal to use our weapon here, Black Knife Blade, and I'll explain that in a second. Our Crimson Amber Medallion to get a little bit more HP. You definitely want to use the +1 version because I don't believe the normal version is very much worth it. You can switch this out with the Erdtree Favor +1, which I don't actually have in this character. The Faithful Canvas Talisman, I believe you should always keep. It's a thing that increases your face spells and make a lot of the face spells worth it, especially if you have your talisman all the way increased. And then you have your Two Fingers Heirloom, which I believe you can change, is interchangeable with the Radagon's icon to hit harder, or even to hit faster with some spells, because it increases or decreases the time it takes to cast a spell. And you know, with the decreased cast time, especially with the spell like Beastle Sling, I believe is more DPS over time, but I have not tested that. Let's take a look at the Black Knife Blade. The Black Knife Blade is a really good weapon for faith builds because it has a super low requirement for both strength and dex, and it seems to scale pretty nice, pretty okay with faith. My DPS isn't crazy with it, but really not looking for the DPS. I mean, for the DPS for a dagger is not bad, but also we're not looking for the DPS of the normal hits, although they are fantastic, and those R2s I really do love. But what we're really looking for with this weapon is the weapon art, which lets you shoot what is it called? Blade of Death at enemies. And this Blade of Death will, one, it'll hit an enemy for a pretty good amount of damage, and then it'll just decrease the amount of HP they have over time for a little bit. And I think it has, and it continues to wear down their HP for a little bit. It reduces their maximum HP. Yeah, so it's really really nice. That's a really nice weapon art to hit people with. Ash of War. And also, along with that, it has invincibility frames through the hit. So you'll get hit with it. They'll do damage to you, of course, but you won't get knocked out of the weapon art. So it's really, really nice to hit people with. I believe that's everything. So let's hop right into PvP, guys. Okay, getting right into it. We have Recusant Rogue. I like it. Start off with an honorable bow. Okay. So the first thing we're going to try to see is we're going to try to test our spacing and try to test the aggressiveness of our player to lay down some of our sleep ailments. We're going to start out with some of those running R2s. This is a really good way to hit that. Gotta hit, we gotta be careful. And once we hit them with the sleep, we can true combo into other spells. It's actually really nice. Some of those jumping R2s also really helpful. That has really weird timing. Want to hit themselves with a Beastle Sling to gain some HP over time. I'm gonna switch our resource heal out. Really unfortunate distance with this weapon, a range, but you have to take it to your advantage. Okay, I think one more hit will sleep, so try it out. Bad timing, guys, bad timing. This person must have really high sleep resistance. And blood loss isn't good. We'll finish him off with Beastle Sling because it's too risky to try to get to sleep. Here we go. And that was a really rough one, but I also was my first invasion of the day. Sorry to give excuses. Okay, Bloody Finger, Hunter of Hunters. That's very Bloodborne-esque. I wonder if that's the build they're going for. Ooh, already we're seeing the pulley crossbow, so we're going to want to be super careful. Yeah, this is very Bloodborne-esque, guys. It's a Bloodborne build. Okay, so already we're seeing he has the range and the distance to punish us. I want to get hit by that, so we're gonna want to finish up boarding that. right, we're gonna want to hit with a few stones. Let's see if we can try to get the distance on him. There we go. Stones always catch people off guard. And we'll hit a Beastle Sling to finish. Okay, we have Invader Dildo. Don't know if that's monetizationally friendly, but I guess it doesn't matter. Ooh, okay, already that quick step. Let's see if we can finish. Okay, it looks like we're gonna see a lot of that, so we're gonna want to block with our carrying retaliation. Parrying Retaliation punishes most sorceries and Moonveil. So if you're having a problem with Moonveil invaders, get the Parrying Retaliation. Bloody Fingers of Raya. Let's check it out, guys. We're really going to be trying to hit with more of these combos. I'm really going to try to implement more item play into the sleep combos. I'll show you here what we mean in a second.
Hey!
Nice. Are we fighting? A lot of passive invaders in this game, even more than Dark Souls 3. It's really interesting. Let's get to it. Alright, we gotta be more careful with it. We really gotta land it down this time. Alright, one more hit. I think we got sleep. See how hard that hits? It's a true combo also, guy. Try another spark. Or let's try another aromatic. But I don't even know how to react. Okay. We have a sorcerer. You know what that means, guys. Carrying a retaliation. You see more spells? Look at me with another one. sleep. Nice. Alright, we'll finish off with the Cthulhu Stone. Kind of a rough invasion, but I didn't really want to use too much of the one-hit kill stuff on him. If you really want to see like this build get aggressive, it can get aggressive. It doesn't always have to be just passive play, and I'll show you that in my next invasion or next battle. Alright guys, we made a slight change in our spells. We added another Black Flame spell, and that is Scourging Black Flame. We're going to show you another combo. Oh, same guy, nice. Alright, we can fight a third time. Alright guys, remember, keep on that carrying retaliation. Alright guys, we're gonna start off with the Iron Jar. Maybe the Iron Jar was maybe the Iron Jar was a bad choice. I mean, not so much, not so bad, but I didn't realize he was going to use so much magic, so be careful with the Iron Jars. It looked like he was a physical user. Recusant Birdman, nice. Let's see what's up. Hope it's really a bird cosplay. Nice to meet you, sir. We have the winged scythe, so that's already bird-like. I hope we're hitting hard with these bird puns. Slow walk. You gotta be watching out for the slow walk. If somebody slow walks, that means they're confident in their build. pressure us a little bit so we can hit her with the root bombs. Aspects of breath. I'd cast a nice little veil around you if you want to cast some other spells too. Unfortunately, the Beast Claws is very easily dodged. Alright, let's try to hit him with some of the aromatics. ASDF. Oh, do we have a caster? We do. Right off the bat. You know, that's always a bad sign because that just means somebody's just trying to come in for a quick kill. And of course we have the Moon Veil Blade. What's going on? Oh, a bow? Okay, nice. Not expecting that. Should hit these things. Let's see if I'm the next hit. You want to heal? It's a really good combo you could do with the mix-ups. The sleep. The sleep gives you an option to do a lot of different mix-ups. It's really interesting. Okay, we got Hercules. He's a big greatsword Hercules. Ooh, great shield Hercules. Nice to meet you. Ooh, with the staff. Oh no, that's a crossbow. Alright, let's see what we can do. Good game, man. All right, now guys, we're gonna try out something a little bit more deadly. Good way to end the dragons right off the bat. Game. Nice to meet you. We're gonna get a bow back. Nice. I'm already loving this invader. Now let's see if we're gonna get a barrage of spells. Carrying slicer. Good game. Hey, I'm right here. What are you up to? Alright, let's see. Alright, right off the bat, the Bloodhound's Greatsword is going to allow us to get a lot of sleep. Such a hard hitbox. Especially this one. This is incredibly hard to fuck. Alright, let's lay down the heavy. Good game. Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Oh my god. Vericon, nice to meet you again. I guess that does nothing. That's good enough. Rust City, baby. First thrust. Game. Let's do this, Onzen.
Hey!
The Hoarfrost axe has really good range, and it of course has that frees you pretty bad. But it's no match for the Crucible Tail, I'll tell you that. We're gonna get my boy Farrakhan back in here, and maybe we can get them to fight another invader for gold. I like to make these builds to really demonstrate the diversity that lies within this game. Whether that be with melee weapons, projectiles, or magic, you could really emphasize character design in a way that you've never been able to in previous Souls games.